Have no fear for atomic energy.
In the next 20 years too, as far as health is concerned, we're going to have a lot of doctors though who are probably training outside coming back into the country. You're going to have the inculcation or the use of technology to prescribe drugs for patients. We have it now, but we're going to have more of it. We're going to have people undergoing surgeries without cutting. We have it, but we're going to have more of it. So in the next 20 years, as far as technology is concerned, we're going to have a lot of changes. We're going to have what you call evolution of viruses and all strange diseases that are going to come, and then the complexities of our thinking is also going to produce different medications to it. How are we prepared for that? And the last thing I would like to take is also about business. In the next 20 years, how are we going to do business? Previously, 20 years ago, if you want to go and open a bank account, you would have to have a certain amount of money to start with. These days, we have banks chasing us and they want to know where we live. You can open a bank account without actually having any account in it, and that's the kind of business we're going to do. We have apps that help you open bank accounts at the comfort of your room. In the next 20 years, there are going to be a lot of changes. We are no longer going to use physical cash. We probably might be running a cashless society. It's coming up. If you've heard of certain things like Bitcoin and all of that, we're going to have a lot of people making money and not necessarily having to travel from one place to the other in the comfort of their room by the use of a gadget like a mobile phone or a laptop. They're going to have money and be paid for it. So things are going to get a little bit tricky, and the solution to all of these things for you to be able to thrive well is to learn and update yourself. And I'm going to tell you this, and that is a fact, that's the truth. When there's time for crisis, in the next 20 years, people are going to be laid off. And so for those of you who are learning courses in school, for example, you're learning a business course in finance and all of that, I can tell you this is not prophecy, this is just thinking. Somebody is also sitting somewhere designing a software that can do more work than you within a short time. And CEOs would probably pay money to buy those softwares and lay off 10 people that can do the same work the same software can do in 10 minutes. And so what will make you thrive is how best you can learn other things and acquaint yourself with technology and how to use some of these softwares. Because if you're going to go manual, then my good listener and viewer, you are in big trouble. When it's time for crisis, people would employ people that work with their minds and their thinking, and they'll lay off people that work with their hands. If you don't believe this, look around you. If you see the architecture around, the people that carry the bricks, those who mix the mortar, those who did the wiring, the electricity and everything, are paid less than the guy who sat in his room and drew the plan. He's called the architect. He was paid more, but he never carried the brick. Why? Because he used his mind, he didn't use his hands. So, I'm going to tell you, in the next 20 years, the world is going to pay people that work with their minds and not necessarily with their hands.
Have no fear for atomic